All right, Praful, floor is yours.
Yeah, this is the edgification of the modeling that Jaya performed last time. So we already have the model. Let me see if we have the link here. I guess it's in the first, the previous Cloud for Bio wiki. Just so everyone has it, I'll post it in the chat.
I can do it for you, Praful, if you want to continue.
Perfect. Yeah. So yeah, if we remember, we had the reproduction of Linux 5 that Jaya made, and it's in Drive. I think everyone should be able to see the model. Jaya has converted to JavaScript and Onyx, as you see, along with a bunch of other formats. This is the Python model. So I'll primarily be focusing on this, and we can move to Onyx if we have time. But yeah, I predict we'll face a few problems. I haven't tried it myself. I really wanted this to be as organic and as full of bugs as possible, just so we see just how much effort or how little effort it is to move models from one environment to the other. So let's get started. I'll use observable as my environment, so just so it's reproducible for everyone. Sorry. Give me 1 second. Okay. I will create a new notebook. And yeah, let's just get the TensorFlow library, tf.js. Oh no, I think it's add TensorFlow. Yeah, add TensorFlow. So observable, as we know, it can you can use node modules inside of observable just by the default require. So this is the npm, the model on npm that it is fetching. It's all there, as you can see, Atom optimizers and all the good stuff.
Praful, just out of curiosity, does it support import as well? For the
it must, yeah. I don't think it will support it on the module, but if you use the CN.js URL, I'm pretty sure it will. I'd be surprised if this worked.
Oh, that's weird. It did not work either.
Did, yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, it did. Oh, wow, this is.
I know, I'm surprised too. So it's unpackage supports something.
It automatically tried to resolve the module with unpackage, and it should have been able to, but I'm pretty sure if I do this, it will work. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay. Now, yeah, we have tf.js. Yeah. So, what like the one constraint I wanted to place on myself was that I not move the model out of where it is. I should be able to use the model right from Drive. Let me think. One problem with that constraint is that Google Drive isn't very amenable to just like open access. You would need to implement some sort of OAuth to use it. Otherwise, you won't be able to access the file, or you'll get a bunch of coarse errors. I have a script, and that was what I was playing with. That is the only preparation I've done for this demo. The script that I use with lab for the MNIST images, if people remember, I have all 60,000 MNIST images on Drive, and I use an app script proxy to fetch those images just to get over the OAuth requirement. This proxy basically lets me get the images, get the manifests, get the labels without having to log in for lab, just so everyone can use it. So I mean, if I click on this, I won't do too much. I'll close it immediately. But if I train CNN, you'll see the yeah, it's fetching the training manifest from Drive. This is just a digression. But yeah, you see this file was fetched from the app script proxy, and yeah, it's fetching all the records. I will stop this. And I was planning to use the same proxy to fetch these files, but the problem is that because these are shared with me, these are not my files. These are not my own files. I can't, for some reason, like this doesn't return anything. I can't get a file by name. I might have to. I might be missing something. I might look into the documentation about how to access shared files. But for now, we like I wasn't able to find an API-based mechanism to access these files. But that's why that's where observable, I think, comes into like really shines, because we have this, which was the point of contention, if people remember, with me and Jonas. I did not like this, but I mean, where it is useful, it is very useful. So we have this is my drive. I was already logged into Google, and I think I've already used file attachments before, so it didn't ask me for permission. I just go into Google Drive. I click on the folder, click on the file, basically import it. We'll see the model pop up. I will again do this for the weights file. Okay. Yeah, this is the binary file, so that's how it should look. Let's see. Yes. So this was also something I thought of before. I won't be able to use these files directly, I'm pretty sure, but let's try it nonetheless. Because so again, do I have the documentation open now? If I open up the documentation, you'll see there are quite a few ways to load models in TensorFlow.js. Oh. Yeah, so we can load it from local storage, from IndexedDB, from HTTPS. This was how I planned to do it, but because the API doesn't work, I can't demo this. And of course, I mean,
this one is probably using the file API, right?
this one?
System. Oh, it's Node.js only. Never mind.
Yeah, this is Node.js only.
There might be a file API solution as well.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to use here, because this is kind of like the file API.
Mm-hmm.
This returns the content of the file. I am planning to use this, but I think we might have a problem, because so like the TensorFlow model loader expects certain methods to be available with what's called the IO handler. This is also something that I was stuck with for a couple of weeks when I was trying to use the box hosted files in EpiPath. But let's try it. Maybe I'm wrong. JS model. If I pass this in,
I think you need to wait. It's before file attachment, right? Otherwise, you get the problem. Oh, it does.
Yeah. I'm assuming it does, because it didn't need an await here. I think it's already in memory somewhere. Yeah. I mean, it won't matter, I think, if I do an await, but I think it isn't a promise. Yeah. So this is exactly the error that I thought we'll have. So yeah, the IO handler. So this is the like it doesn't expect file contents directly. It expects a handler to be passed in, and that's not exactly straightforward. There is some documentation over here, and yeah, there are browser files. So this was the this is the approach that I would have taken if I would have been willing to download the model files. I can then just have an option to upload the model configuration and the model weights individually, and then just load those. But that kind of defeats the purpose of like bringing the model to the edge. I think if we, I mean, just putting it out there, it is possible, but maybe it's not the most fair approach.
So
because then we expect people to download.
How do you want to proceed? Would you like the model that Jay had trained to be available to the public in Google, such that you can call it from a URL?
No, I have the solution, I believe. I have the solution implemented because this is what I use in EpiPath. So my problem.
GitHub, I see it. Okay, very good. This is good.
No, so I'll be using an IO handler myself. So this is what I had to do when I first like moved to using box hosted models inside of EpiPath. It is exactly the same thing, I think, because Drive is also a cloud storage service. I can, as long as I can get the model configuration and weights out of Drive, which I have, I can define my own IO handler to get them to work with TensorFlow.js. I've done it with Box, and I think the same thing should work with Google Drive as well. So let's give me like 5 minutes.
Take your time. What I'm doing, so people, while you do this, Praful, is that I'm copying the link to the Google Drive location of JS model. So for those who forgot about it, just click on the link. I think it's public, right, Jay? Yeah. I think it is.
Yeah, it's public.
I will make this public as well and share the link with all of you, just in case you want to follow along. Why can't I? Yeah, the link to the notebook is shared as well. Let's start. So yeah, this is the IO handler that I have to implement, I believe, to get the model to work with TensorFlow.js. Wait data. Yeah, I'll just, so this is the configuration that I'll be passing in, the model.json. It contains just about all the information. There is the format that tells you if this is a layers model or a graph model. There are weights, I believe. Yeah, there's a weights manifest which tells you how many files there are corresponding to the weights, what the weights, what the layers look like, their shape, and like what type they are, what input they take, and all that stuff. I just need to, so this is this class that I'm defining is what implements the two load and save methods that where is it? I deleted that, but that the load layers model or the load graph model methods of TensorFlow.js expect to be present on the handler. So we have okay, this should be, yeah, let's sort of get file attachment off. So just
I've updated the wiki. If anyone wants to follow this by having the observable notebook open.
File. Okay, so all I'm doing is getting each weight from the manifest. So this weight file is what I'm appending to file attachment. If you remember, we have, oops. Oh, I don't, oh, I can't make it public, of course.
No, because it's linked to your Google Drive. So the Google prefix would not be allowed.
But yeah, we have these two files, and we have this weight file, group1-1 of 1, and that is what should be passed in here.
But Praful, that's what I was saying. If you share them with the public read only, you would have the URL for the volume within Google.
I don't think so. You can't use the URL directly, like in the form of an API. It gives you a CORS error.
Oh, it's a CORS issue. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you can share. You can make this public if you want to, and I can. I'm pretty sure that it just won't work. It will work. It's a lot like Box, where the URL will work. It will open up inside a Box web app. But if you try to use the same URL inside a web page, or if you try to fetch it, it won't. So yeah, we define the handler. We have all of this. We have the model artifacts. This is how it expects the model to be supplied to the loader. Yeah, I think this should be fine. File attachment. Oh, so this won't work. So I can't Crap. Yeah, this is a bummer, but right now, I mean, this is of course not great, but I think this is a limitation of file attachments. We'll have to use the file name directly. It expects a literal, unfortunately. Okay. Yeah, we have the drive handler. Let's understand. No, let's get the model first. So model config and attachment //model.json. We have this. The file attachment will work, right? JSON. Okay, we have the model config. We can now create the handler. Try handler with model config. Let's see if that works. It does. Okay, and then the model. Yeah, so now that we have the handler, we can try to load the model directly with it. Oh crap. Rescaling. Oh, so I think this is an operation that's not supported in TensorFlow.js.
I was worried about it, but I figured that since it was able to compile it for tf.js, that this problem wouldn't happen.
Yeah. Yep. Do you know how to solve this, Jay?
Yeah, the solution is that you will have to do the scaling outside in tf.js, and I would have to recompile the whole thing without the rescaling layer.
Okay. Can I? It's defined in JavaScript. Oh yeah, or I define it in JavaScript and then supply it to the model.
I know how to define it in JavaScript. Hold on.
How do I pass it? Scaling.
And in the meantime, I'm creating the public cores enabled URL just in case.
Are you proxying it, or are you just making it public?
Just making it public, but in GitHub.
Okay.
I got it. Okay, I'm putting it in the text box and also in the wiki.
Okay, I'll try that in the meantime. But I mean,
Praful, I think it's best if I recompile it, because what I realized is that you will need to know a lot about how Keras is structured to create a custom layer on JavaScript.
I see.
I'll recompile the whole model in the meantime.
Yep, works.
You want to show us that as you do it, Jay, or we just suspend until you're done?
I'm just rerunning Colab by just deleting that row. If you want to see it, I can show it to you.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. And Praful, I think it's cause enabled, right? I didn't get any errors.
Just trying that. Just trying it in. It should be, yeah. I don't think there should be cause problem. Yeah, it's definitely not a problem. Perfect. Yeah, that works. But again, I'm not sure if I mean I this is again me being pedantic, but is this a reasonable assumption that people will move their models outside of the Colab drive into a place where others can use it?
Yes, for me, yeah, it's a definite yes. That's the only fair thing to do, right? I mean, why not use the web as a file system?
But then there is there then is a chance of a disconnect cropping up between the Colab notebook and the model, because they are in two different places. You have to make sure that every time you update the model, you also update GitHub.
Yes, that's right. But you also could also say that in reverse. If you want a place where old versions of the model remain available even after it was updated, GitHub is ideal. Because Google, I don't think would. Google Drive probably has a versioning system, but it's not as clean, I don't think.
I think it, I don't know. Can check. I don't have. How do I see versions?
But I guess the bottom line, Praful, is that if you're sharing in G Drive, you are fair for all of those. It's just like in Box with whom you share your content. But after a while, putting it in a publicly served location like GitHub makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, there was a time in the distant past where I think I remember that you could make things public cores enabled in G Drive. But that probably lends itself to abuse.
I would imagine so, yeah. Let me try this actually. Model.json, make requests. Okay. Could you also yeah, could you also put this file on the GitHub repository, Jonas? Have you already?
On it? Now I'm doing it.
Yeah, just this one, and I'll try loading it using the URL.
Praful, are you okay if I overwrite on the existing files?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And yeah. Jonas, if you haven't already, maybe it's best to wait for Jaya, because the model, even if it is open, even if it is public, it won't work because of the rescaling problem. But yeah, I guess this was a good exercise, just so we know that there are ways to even use like semi-private files. Oh, it's cloud for files, sorry. With TensorFlow.js just to load and use models. This IO handler thing is it's not the it's not the most intuitive concept to grasp, but it is quite powerful because you can like do a lot of things with a lot of files. You can describe your own format inside this class and then ask TensorFlow.js to just assume that what it needs is there and load the model anyway, which is okay.
So I have the bin file now if you want to try it while we wait for JS.
So we have model.json.
In
Yeah,
the chat box.
it did work. Yeah, it did work, but yeah, it's just the resampling problem still in place.
But you also wanted the bin file, right? Or no?
No, yeah, the bin file I think is I don't think it even got there, Jonas. I don't think. I mean, once JR recompiles the model, maybe then we might need the bin file. But right now, it's trying to parse the model the model architecture, the model configuration, and it's kind of stuck here.
So while we wait, do you mind making an effort to try to parse this JSON structure?
Yeah. Sure.
So at the top you have the format, very good layers. So that's the case.
Yeah.
As well.
Let me show it in a proper viewer. Let's see it. So yeah, we have the format. Oh, it's probably too small. But yeah, we have the format, and this is just the because it was converted. We have these. This won't be there in like if you just write or if you just train a model in TensorFlow.js directly. Then we have the topology, again the back end. I think this yeah, this is different when you use TensorFlow.js depending on what backend you use. If you use Node.js, if you use GPU, Wasm, that's the backend shows up here. We have the model config. It was a sequential model. We don't have any residual connections. So these are the layers. This is this is probably visible, right? I'm
Yeah,
not sure
this
if
is very good.
Okay. So yeah, this is the first input layer. We have this is the shape 28 by 28 by 1. That's the MNIST resolution 28 by 28 and 1 channel. We have
just yeah, I finished updating the files.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Is there a way? No, I can't share this. But yeah, I mean, you have the file yourself. Jonas has shared the link. If you want to check out how the model looks, please.
You know, this is very clean, powerful. I really like the way they did it. I mean, the JSON is not taking shortcuts. Everything is there.
Is there any benefit of this tool over the JSON formatter which comes within Google Workspace?
Not really. There is a JSON formatter. Google
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah, if you go into your drive and you right click on a JSON file and you say open with, you can go into the workspace and prefer you. So can you just right click on any JSON file you have? I've updated the file, so can you just refresh it? Yeah. So if you see open with and you have JSON viewer, yeah.
I don't think there's much of a difference. Oh, I see. This uses it directly from drive.
Exactly. So instead of copying, you can directly read it.
Oh, nice. I didn't know this.
Jonas, that's why I'm kind of, again, pushing you for Drive in favor of Box because of these apps. That it makes it a lot easier to work with Drive.
So Jam, you are not in that email because I think you're not in the original list of attendants, but Baumik was, and he can tell you, we have made a very, very strong case, I think, for the pro version of notebooks. So Google Colab. Okay. And I also mentioned the memory issue, and hopefully that there'll be some agreement where we get generous memory.
Okay.
Yeah, give me just one second. I just want to see if this works. This was a tool that I used before. Where am I saving it? Okay, never mind. Where is it? Yeah, this is just a network visualization tool that I've used before. I just want to see if the conversion affects anything. Should only take 1 second. Sorry. No, it doesn't. Okay, nice. Yeah, that's sequential there.
Wait, is this the latest JSON file? Because you still have the rescaling layer there.
Yeah. No, it's not.
I just uploaded it. If you refresh it, you know, it takes like a minute in GitHub. But I updated it.
I think I'll use the drive one anyways. Let's see if wait, let's see if this guy updates. I don't think observable updates it as immediately on Google. No, it doesn't. Okay, I'll have to re-upload. Delete. Yeah. Okay. We have JSON, the new config. Let's try.
For those who are using GitHub, it should be updated now. I just refreshed and it's loading the new versions. So the last two links on the chat box.
This is an unexpected error. 5516. Oh, it's the first layer. I mean, the first non-input layer, I think.
What does the error say?
It expects 150 values, but it has 0. Wait, what? What tensor? Oh, the what? Is it expecting an input layer here?
There is an input already. Can you open this in JSON? I can tell what's happening.
So this is the 55161. Where is it? Yeah.
So Praful, where are the weights kept? They are kept in the binary file?
Yeah.
Is there an easy way to read the binary file into something observable can digest? Like this TensorFlow as a method to read the binary file and expose the weights?
There is a way. I remember I did see the weights once. I'll need to check it out. I don't recollect it from the top of my mind.
Yeah, I'm looking at the API.
I don't understand the error. So
Yeah, me either.
why is it expecting a tensor here?
And this file does have an input layer, so it knows what tensor shape to expect.
Where is the input layer, Jared? Oh,
Yeah, first one.
this is in the weights. The first convolutional kernel has.
Yeah, this is the first set of parameters, and this shape is correct.
I don't get why it's expecting a tensor anywhere. Why should there be a tensor?
Yeah, that error usually comes in Python when I don't put an input layer. So your initial impulse was right, I think. Because TensorFlow, so it's now eager mode, right? So it immediately anticipates a shape. So that's why they created the input layer. But I'm not sure why you're getting this error.
Let me compare it with the models I have. Just 1 second. Sure. Oh, this will be big. Oh, this is a big model. Let the weights manifest. Okay, so the ones I use have a the first shape is just 2. What is that? I don't know. This is some layer that I don't know. And then there's 1250 by 2. But it's the same thing, more or less. Even this doesn't have a tensor that it is expecting. It's name, shape, and dtype. It just work.
So in the meantime, I updated 3 links on the wiki. You have how to save and load models in TensorFlow.js, the model, so the model.json file, and the bin file with the weights. So if anyone wants to try it, it's there.
Just to confirm, let me try with the posted link, just so I know I haven't messed up in the handling. Yep, that is it. I've messed something up here. Not sure what. Oh, did the recompilation also change the weights, Chair?
There are no trainable weights. Trainable weights did not change, but non-trainable weights changed here. So
Oh,
the
but
big
what-
file changed here.
Yes, that's probably it.
But I updated the file, Jay. If that's where you keep the weights in that bin file, I also updated it in GitHub.
Yeah, exactly. So I
Yeah,
just overwrote it here.
Oh, no, wait. Oh, I need to reload the handler, I think. Picture of you. Null config, yes, reload. No, but there is something.
Purple, just to encourage others to try to make the
Okay.
same mistakes we are making. So for those who are not familiar with Observer, remember that you can click on the link to Purple's Observable and you can write your own code. Now, this is Purple's notebook and he is not sharing it to others for edit. So whenever you're done and Purple changes the file, you lose it. So with this in mind, feel free to write your own code on top of his. It's not going to interfere.
I don't think I'm sharing it at all. Oh yeah, I can share it with people, but I can't publish it. So,
No, you're sharing the other one, the tf.js for.
No, I was looking. Honest, I was clicking that link. It didn't work.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, I unpublished it because I didn't have the cloud files. If I did that.
Oh, yes, you did. That's right. I just lost all my code.
Anyone I remember? If anyone else wants access, please just let me know. Is there anyone in the group? Oops. Yeah, if anyone else needs access, please.
Yeah, thank you, Praful.
I will add these people, and yeah, you can now see and edit and go. Oh, I can't even share. That is a bummer. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you can't share because you have the connections to the Google Drive.
I thought people should still be able to.
Yeah, I think as a viewer we can see. Just give view permissions.
Let's see. No, it still doesn't work.
Oh.
Actually, let me try. No, I don't have the option to add. Nope. So it has to be private one.
But why not use the one in GitHub then? Well,
yeah, we can. I wanted to like take this as far as possible using Drive, but sure, I can't use it anyways. So let's get rid of these and make it public.
But for the others following the presentation, notice this, that if you're using Google Drive as the place where these files are being created using Colab, say from Python, Observable would be reading them directly. So this is like a shared file system. Is the whole deal.
Yeah. So this is now loading it from a URL. And this works perfect. And now let me see if I can. I can't. I have to download then an MST image. Let's take one for my test. Again, this is probably not the same. Oh, it might be actually. I was just saying this file might be in one of the notebooks that Jaya has used. So yeah, I can use file attachments.
Praful, I'm sharing the data as a, what do you call that, HDF5. I don't know if you're familiar with the JavaScript package for HDF5. Can you go into the package that I've shared? Yeah. So if you go into data, so this is train and test in HDF5. So the test performance that I got, I would ideally want to see you get the same result.
I hate this. Do I have to download it really?
No.
You can use the Google. No, you could use the Google prefix, right?
How?
So from Observable. you could just use the Google prefix as you were doing. You just won't be able to share it with us, but that's fine. I know we are confusing you, Praful.
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying, but that, I mean, I was really happy to make this public, and now I can't publish.
You know, maybe Baumik has some thoughts here. Baumik, this may be the place where having the teams notebooks, right, should work, because you could be editing things that are sensitive together as long as we are part of the same team.
Yeah, I believe so, but this Google Drive is tied to the personal account, so I'm not sure if sharing with the teams would be allowed.
So the test that you see here, so the unused, this is a service account, right? It's not an OAuth 2.
No, it's an OAuth 2.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think Praful did it previously. So
What is?
Well, I'm just thinking, if we fork your code and we do our own OAuth 2 to the same location because JS shared it with all of us, we should be able to read the same files, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, all right.
You'll have to add the attachment yourself. I think that's the only thing you'll need to do.
Yep.
But other than that, the code should work the same because the file is the same. Okay, I have test now. Let's see. I need to see how to use it. I know I have model dot predict. How do I use it? I've only ever used it with
Does it take HDF5? I'm wondering. So regardless, oh, that's a good point, because I did do the pre-processing on the test. Yeah, I think what you're doing is fine.
So you think I can use HDF5 files directly or not really?
Actually, you can in Python, but let me just check the JavaScript API.
There is a Node version, so maybe the unpackage will allow you.
Of HDF5?
Yes, I'm looking for it. npm.
Wait, Jonas, that JS5 is for Node.js only?
I think not. Let's find out.
Yeah, it says browser. If you go into the GitHub page, it says installation and use under browser, so it shows how to use it. You're looking under Node, I think. If you just follow the link that I gave.
Oh, you sent a link. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the NIST version.
JS5.
That has a browser section.
Oh, it's a distribution probably. Yep, this should work. Yeah. Distribution HDF5.js. Okay. Is this hosted anywhere? No. That's not. npm h5 wasn't. Okay. But that's for writing. Okay.
Oh, and you need Paco. So it's compressed. You need Paco as well.
If I can. Sorry?
I think you'll need Paco as well.
Oh, do I?
It's the decompressor.
Yeah. I thought it said it was packaged.
Oh, you could be right. It's included. Yes, never mind. You're right.
I'm not sure, but let me try if this works. No, doesn't have. No, it's not exported. Then I'll have to. Let me see if required works directly. I doubt it will.
Yeah, it says invalid module.
Yeah, it's not modularized. I can't use script tag loading. I might need your and Lee's help with this then. How do I get this in observable?
Hey, Lee, do you have any suggestions?
What for loading this library into observable?
Yeah, this JS5, we're having problems making it work in observable.
It's
Oh,
it's on
have
NPM.
you? Let's have a look. Have you run it through the debugging thing yet? That thing they give you that tries all the different ways. It's easy.
What's
Here's one. I don't know that. They've parceled it. That should work.
Oh, works with dynamic importing.
It does?
Oh,
What file are you using?
nice. I'm pasting it in the text. There it is.
HDF file. Okay. Wait, it works with dynamic import. Why did it say it was in the module then? Then copy it. Why can't I copy this?
I know, but then there is nothing inside. There's an issue with HDF5.
But yeah, it will. I mean, it will show you a module because nothing is exported. So by default, there is the empty default export.
And require doesn't work. I'm trying in package.
Require should have worked. I don't know why it didn't. But let's see. So I'm not sure. Wait. Oh, not import. Okay, so this is just the empty module. We see.
So did you put it through that module require thing? Because the first one it gives you seems to work for me. I'm not sure if it gives you everything you need, but there is stuff coming out of it, a few functions.
Which one, Lee?
The module require debugger, I put it in the chat. If you put the name of the module into that, it tries a few ways, and I think the first one is working. I'll paste the actual command, see if that works. Because it does seem to be working for me. I'm not sure if it's giving everything though. Try that. And then it'll be in the global namespace as HDF5. Yeah, that's it. So that did the same thing. And then if you type HDF5 somewhere, it should.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that seemed to work actually. Yeah.
Yep. Seems to work. Perfect. Thank you so much, Lee.
No
I'm not putting this for the life of me. HDF5 5 is it? Which I already have the array buffer. Yes, I do. So 5 file name. Okay. Create a view constructor display an array buffer. Okay. So that's just array buffer. Test function. Start. Oh, it has an array buffer. Perfect.
Haley, I just found out that if you pick HDF5 from the global scope after you refresh the notebook, it's no longer there. But if you put JS5 equals to require or anything, any other name, it works.
It's going to be a big file.
So if probably if you have problems with HDF5, that could be the cause.
Okay, we have it.
No,
Wait,
I just put, I don't know, JS5, for example, require.
I just did that.
No, but you put HDF5. Just put something else. I'll
I don't.
I don't understand what's going on either. This is what I did. That survives the refresh of the page.
No, but this does nothing.
The second part, right? So if you just put JS5, forget about this.
But why does this say invalid module now?
Instead of HDF5, just put something else, like just exactly, yeah. Oh, interesting. Well, if you put the rest, then there's something weird.
So the error, I see.
Yeah.
I see. So this works. It does import it into the global scope, but it's not a module, so it just throws an error. And that's all that the catch does, is it avoids showing you the error.
Yeah, there's an explanation for it in the module require thing I linked. It says it's a doozy, essentially a module that works in Node and works as a script tag, but doesn't work with any specific loader. So we use require, expect it to fail, and then grab the global that it adds to the window.
Amazing. People using Observable have just the hackiest mindsets.
It's out of desperation.
No, I don't think so. I think it's smart. They work around the problems, so it doesn't take too much of their time. But I think we have the array buffer. How do we see the size? Size, I think. Oh, of course, it's not defined. Sorry to have spent this long on.
No, don't worry about this, Praful. This is part of the learning.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of this too.
Doesn't array buffer have a size property? Oh, byte length. It's undefined. Okay, that is great. This returns empty for some reason. Our HDF5 files, and that would be weird if they can't be converted to array buffers. It just doesn't make sense. I have no idea. If I do this, it'll just hang up the page. Oh, if I do text, I mean. Is there a size? Text dot. No. Oh, they have an image method. Just okay. Just to think out loud. I believe I need an array buffer, which I am trying to pass in, but it doesn't. I mean, this doesn't work for some reason. So if I do file attachment, array buffer. It should work. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it says this is not an array buffer.
Do you have to await it, Jay, maybe? It's a file attachment thing?
I doubt it, but I'll try it nonetheless.
Because the awaits are handled automatically in the cells, but it might, if you put it in your HDF5 function and await before file attachment, don't know if that'll help. No.
No, I think it.
Oh, it did something. No,
Yep,
it didn't.
was it?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we have the file now. Do I just pass this to the model then, Jay? How do I?
Oh, what format is it in now?
I think it's JSON. I mean, it's at least described as JSON. I don't know what JI stands for.
Oh, can you open an array buffer?
I doubt it will show us anything. We need to convert it to something. Do you know what? Let's see if there is an example.
I'm thinking there should be a way to convert this into JavaScript arrays, right? Because eventually I'll ask you to convert them into tensors.
Okay. And let's see what we have here. F dot attributes, file, keys. Oh, X's and Y's. Okay. So we have 800. What? 800 X's and 1400 Y's.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yes. I don't see how to do this. This is just the same.
But the name is right. I did name them X and Y.
Jay, what are your thoughts on us relying on HDF5 to get to weights in general? You think this is the way we should go?
No, ideally I want ZAR, but the thing I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to unify R, JavaScript, and Python under the same format, be it model format and be it data format. And HDF5 is the only one that I could think of that works for all three environments.
No, that does make sense.
ZAR would be futuristic, which works for both JavaScript and Python, but it doesn't work for R.
What did you have to do when you created the bin file to make sure HDF5 would be able to read it? Nothing, or you had to do something?
Bin file is coming from TensorFlow.js. It's when I use the TensorFlow.js converter, it creates that binary file.
Oh, so it's
But
okay.
HDF5 was done separately because from our discussions, like how do we best package our data set? The best I could think of was HDF5, but I'm open to suggestions. It should work in JavaScript. I think it's just we don't know how to convert them into arrays.
Why would we want to package our data sets? Why wouldn't we just expose them?
Oh, sorry. Why not?
Why wouldn't we just expose them over an API?
We could, but what format would that be? Oh, as a JSON?
Or whatever TensorFlow.js is able to ingest.
I mean, whatever the model expects.
JSON works for both Python and JavaScript. So I guess we just have to test out for R.
I see we don't have.
But what happens if it's big data? Would you still recommend JSON there? Because HDF5 scales beautifully for large data sets.
Yeah, that's true. I just wonder if the TensorFlow.js has a load method for data. We know for models is no problem because it's small JSON files, but it may have a method for binary data.
If it's big data, I don't think we should reasonably expect TensorFlow.js to be a viable.
Yeah, I'm thinking that in those situations, I want JavaScript users to still be able to run it on Node.js. If that option should be available. Like, for example, if Jonas wants to get involved in a genomics project, I wanted an option for him to have a data format that both he and I can work on simultaneously. That's why I was trying this.
I see.
HDF5 is a good compromise, sounds like.
Yeah, I think I don't like it, but I think it's a good compromise for the 3 languages.
What about the weights? So the bin file has weights, no data.
Yeah.
For that, use array buffer, and that's it, right? You don't...
So Jonas, bin files is only for the TensorFlow model, but HDF5 is just for the data.
No, so I get it. So the part I didn't understand, but I had to answer something here. I got distracted momentarily. So the weights are in the bin file you shared with us, right?
Yeah.
And you load them as an array buffer, which makes perfect sense. And then what? You unzip it or something? What happened?
Praful, you're loading it as you're loading the HDF5 file as an array buffer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jonas, I think you're mixing up.
I was mixing things. You're right. Got it.
No, but I still don't understand. I mean, with an HDF5 file, you have to basically package the entire data set and then ship it off, right? How does that solve the big data problem anyways? Wouldn't that be just even more of a, I mean, for example, this file itself, when I first loaded it crashed observable. It crashed my browser.
Oh, I see.
And this is what, 50 megabytes, I think. So, I mean, with JSON, we have the, well, one, we have queryability, and with an API, we have like streamability. And of course, we can use like range requests or something like that to get stuff in chunks. I don't know if HDF5 files facilitate that.
Querying HDF5 is easier than querying JSON, right? So even if I did host them behind an API, oh, you're saying that when you send it over, you send a JSON. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So you can send, for example, chunks of JSON. If you have a data set of 100,000 observations, you could send 100 at once. At one time, you could send 10 observations at one time.
Makes sense.
So that's kind of what I do in. So in lab, for example, I don't ever have all the entire MNIST data set in memory at once. I load it in chunks. I load 1,000 images, train on them, let them go, then load the next 1,000, train on them. So this is just these are the file names and the labels that I'm loading in IndexedDB.
I see.
And yeah, that's kind of how I mitigated the memory issue.
So Praful, if I gave you a model that was 1 gigabyte large, what would you do? Would you just not try?
I don't know. So let's actually compare. So the latest model I trained was probably the biggest one. This model is definitely not 1 gigabyte, but it's, I think, 30 megabytes. And this loads very fast. This doesn't take much time at all.
For your pathology images, that's the size of your model?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very basic model here. All it does is it finds a very specific structure in each tile, and the tiles themselves are 256 by 256. So it's not a, yeah, it's not really looking at much, and it's not doing much.
So if it was anything greater than 100 megabytes, you would host it in an API then?
I don't think so. I mean, but that's probably me. I think that would be that might be the best approach, but I would still try to find some way to load it in on the client. 100
Got it.
megabytes, I think is still doable because people have done the.
It is in tf.js manual somewhere. It says that they don't recommend any model size greater than 100 megabytes. That's where I got the number.
Really?
Yeah, I forgot.
I forgot. Yeah, I think I saw like the one model I saw where it's the invisibility model where the person hides himself from the video. That one was I think around 300 megabytes, I think, and
Okay.
it seemed to work well. But I don't know if he shared his GPU specs. But I mean, yeah. Anyways, like if the model size does grow larger than that, it's probably a good idea to not use tensor.js.
Perfect. We're 1 minute from the end, and I think we'll probably re-record this session. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no worries.
We'll learn from. So I'll keep the recording, but I will not publish it because I suspect you prefer we do this later, right? We
Can you share that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll publish it all the same if other people are willing to listen. So my last question is, if you go back to your Google Drive, I know here looking at IndexedDB, just so people realize that one of your files is a definition of the model. And all the other bin files are the weights of different training sessions on that model. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, just people know about this. So the data is not there. That's just the weight and the model definition.
Yes. The data is there now. Oh, let me stop this. My browser is not otherwise. So the data is there now. The test file at least. But up until this point, it wasn't. The model was online and ready for prediction. And yeah, we were just trying to get the HDF5 file. In fact, I might try because we don't have like any cloud attachments. I might try to just like pass like simple images and see if that works. Like make tensors of those images and see if that works. And I'll share it in Gitter if it does. But yeah, I think it's a good idea to try this next week.
Sounds good. All right. So we'll have next week. We'll have part 2B of 3. All right. So adjourn for today. Thank you, Praful. Thank you, Jaya. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Lee, for the required solution. And we'll revisit part 2 next time. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye, guys.